Okay, we're in Photoshop and we're going to get an image ready for print. This is a review of some of the stuff we've already covered in class, but I just want to go through real quickly, make sure that everyone's got themselves set up for printing. So first of all, we've brought in an image that we like. We've done a save as and saved it as a Photoshop file instead of a JPEG. That's the first thing we did. So we want to make sure that we're in Photoshop, and we've got a folder that's called Working Prints, and we've saved that already. Then we've used the cropping tool over here, and we've gone to 5:7, and you know, depending if it's a horizontal shot or whatever, I've already done that. But once you crop it, you hit the little checkbox here. You also need to go and make sure under image size that it is truly 5:7. Make sure you deselect this check right here. You don't want to resample it. It's likely that yours is probably something like, I don't know, some odd number here. So you're going to need to come in and change it to 5:7. Now, if your picture is horizontal, then the width would be the 7 dimension, and the height would automatically go there. So we've got our sizing correct, and again, I'm going to hit save just to make sure that I've saved that sizing. I've also come in under layers, and again, I showed you guys this already, where we've made some adjustment layers. So let me turn those off for a moment, and just you can take a peek at what it looks like without them. I made a copy of the background layer, which is another good habit to do. I'm going to double click on levels here. Whoops. Double click on this for a moment, just to remind you that this is a histogram here. And I took this guy and I just dragged it over a little bit to get my blacks right at the edge there. The whites I'm not going to move because I've already got some areas that are blown out. All right, and in that area you can play around with the midtones a little bit, and you can either brighten or darken your image. You can see by playing around with these midtones. All right, I got to turn that on first. Now I can see that difference. There we go. So we can either brighten things up or darken it up. Remember that we're looking at a monitor that's projecting light, so I generally go on the lighter side of things because it's going to print a little bit darker. Okay, this with and without. Then let's take a look at the saturation. You can see at the bottom of the image the brass is a little more red. It's a little warmer color. If we double click on that guy, we can play around with these and, you know, decide how much we want to saturate. Again, my goal is not to do some digital art project. It's to recreate an image that looks realistic and like it does in the real world. All right, so we've got our adjustments. We're all set. The next step would be to check with Mr. Derry to make sure that your picture is all ready to print. And then over here, there's a folder that you guys have on your desktop. I think last class we all went in. If anyone was absent, we went into this 3D print folder, and we made sure that we had this printer. Double clicked on it and it will load for you. If it comes up like this, that means it's already loaded, which is what you need to do. Let me hop back to Photoshop. Okay, so now we got our printer loaded. We've got our image cropped and edited a little bit to take care of any contrast issues or color issues. So now we're ready to print. So, okay, under Print, File, we're going to go to Print down here, and we need to, where's my print dialog box? First thing we want to do is select our printer. So under this list, we want to find the one that says Epson R2880. That's our printer. And you'll notice that we're right in the middle of the paper. We don't want to waste a whole sheet of paper. We're going to be able to print 2 on a sheet. So down here under Position, we're going to deselect Center, and we want to be 1/4 of an inch from the top, 0.25. And that's going to move it up to the top. Oops, I accidentally hit Print. I didn't want to do that. Okay, so we have our size excuse me, our location. It's near the top of the sheet. Don't hit the print button. And we're going to go to print settings up here. And under print settings, we want to make sure that we pick the correct paper. The paper that we use is it's a photo paper, and it's ultra premium luster. This is the paper that you want to select. If you pick any one of these other papers, it's not going to print properly. So make sure we select the right paper. Okay. This is giving us our ink status in the printer, and it looks like we're a little bit low on one of our inks. We'll talk about that in class. We can put print preview on here. And under print quality, we don't want speed, we want max quality. All right, so these items are what we want for our settings. We hit OK. We've got our preview here. Now we can hit print. Now, if you have a picture that is oriented vertically, you're actually going to do the horizontal layout here. And for position, you're going to pick the left as your 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so I can show you what that looks like real quick. So if we have this picture here, again, I want to make sure the size is right. So I'd go to image size. And in this case, my width would be 5. My height, that's close enough to 7/1000 of an inch. Oops. So now I go to print with this image, and notice it's in the middle here, but I've got my sheet vertically. I want to switch and make my sheet be horizontal. It takes a second for it to load. And then on my position, I would make my left number be a 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and notice that it's tucked in on the left now. So vertical pictures, you're going to go horizontally. It's a little counterintuitive. And horizontal pictures, you're going to take the vertical layout, and we got to reposition that.